And hey, Bear.
We are the Folk Ladies. Welcome to Folkland.
Welcome to
Yes.
superhero land.
It was an interesting episode, and yeah, I'm excited to recap it with you ladies. It's gonna be fun.
What'd you get into this week, ladies?
Ooh. More teeth talk. I couldn't get enough last week, so we had to do a little more teething around here.
Yeah, go ahead, Brandi. Tell us what
What do you
happened.
mean by that?
Well, I drove my daughter to a larger city where there was sedation dentistry available.
Sorry.
She had all 7 of her wisdom teeth removed. And I thought by the fanciness of the forms that they had me to fill out online that I would be dealing with a place from this century. But alas, when I walked in, instead I found myself in a 1980s funeral home setting. So that was interesting.
Comforting. Oh yeah, the waiting room.
Yeah, nobody in that room was under the age of 80 besides myself and my daughter. So that was kind of interesting. One great granny brought her great granddaughter with her. There was one little kid, but it was.
I
full
love the
of,
picture that you sent. I love
yeah,
the
it was
picture that you sent
Ugh.
of the woman
I don't even
holding
know
the
if I can
magazine
share
upside
all
down.
of those stories
No.
with our folks. Some of those were a little dicey, but one highlight was the lady holding the magazine upside down, who would occasionally just shout out, "Chickpeas and smashed cucumbers, eggplant, crunchy
Why do you-
lemon curd."
Why do you sound like Walter Cronkite?
That was the setting.
She's
Maybe
a
she-
curd.
Maybe she got into
I
the
was
laughing gas
surprised
early.
when the man in front of me, I will call him Bill. Bill was directly in front of me, and I was sitting behind him. His liver spots, his bald head, his hearing aid, right in plain sight. I was surprised when they said, "Bill, your dad's ready." I was peeking through that door. I wanted to see what? How old is this guy? Bill
That's
came
hilarious.
from good genes.
Yeah.
I found out my grandpa is 80 this week after my professor in my class. I was talking about, because my grandpa had an accident, so I was just talking about all this crazy stuff that happened. And my professor was like, I said, yeah, he's way too old to be out there on a 4-wheeler in the woods by himself. And my professor was like, oh, how old is he? 60, 68, 70? And I was like, yeah, old. And he was like, that's not that old. And then I was like, oh, you're that old. That's awkward.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta watch that.
I know. Well, my weekend was pretty cool. I got to
You have the most
meet.
exciting one. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I got to meet Nathaniel again.
Who's Nathaniel?
Nate Bargatze.
Oh.
I think Nathaniel. But yeah, so it was really cool. He came to the Bushnell in Hartford, Connecticut. I think it was sold out. There was like 3,000 people there. It was crazy. His openers were Julian, I forgot his last name, McNamara maybe? Sorry if I missed. He was hilarious. And then Joe Zimmerman, who was hilarious. So it was just them two, and then Nate came out. Of course, he rocked the house. There was one moment where he actually was trying out a new joke, and he kind of said the joke, and then it didn't land right. And he was like, yeah, I'm still working on it. And then he kind of got a little, like, flustered a little bit. And I was like, oh, here we go. I'm seeing the real Nate. And then he kind of blushed, but then he got back into it. But it was
You should've
really
yelled,
cool.
What are you, Brian Bates?
You blew it, buddy.
Yeah. Nice big
I
you
know.
blew it, buddy.
I know. And then afterwards, there was only 2 groups for meet and greet, and one of them was me and my husband and our friends. So we made sure to be the last group so we'd have more time with him. And it was
Smart
cool.
move.
Obviously, I luckily got to see him earlier this summer, so he remembered me, which, of course, how can you not remember the person who missed 2 shows when they had tickets to 2 shows? And also, I have been doing design work for some of his t-shirts. So if you are a folk and you see a couple of Nate's t-shirts on the website, I have designed 2 of those, which has been an awesome thing. And then third one is in the works, but that's all I can say. But it's been really, really fun. So anyways, he noticed I didn't have one of his shirts, which, by the way, I totally did not have it on me right now. And Jen, we lost you. And so he asked if I had seen it, but they weren't allowed to sell merch there. And
So weird.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. And so he ended up just having us come out to his tour bus because we were the last group, and just he was so kind. He had what's his name, the merch guy there, take all the merch boxes out. I think it was Caleb.
Yeah.
And he took all the merch boxes out, and he gave us shirts for free, which was really cool. But he also chatted about golf and all the things. And I knew he was tired, but he really is just such a humble person. He really loves to chat. So it was cool, and he was on his way to Boston. So those of you who were in Boston, he was in Hartford chatting it up with Batesville before he saw you guys. So it was really cool. It was an awesome night with our friends, and I'm really glad that we got to do that together.
Oh yeah. I have some friends going to see him tomorrow night in Louisville.
Nice.
So I'm really excited to get a report back from them.
Oh, I think we lost Jen here. Well, while we wait for Jen, why don't you do the rundown, Brandi? We can get into that.
Let's do a little bit of a rundown,
and we'll see what happens with Jen here.
Yeah. In episode 123 of Nateland, the fellas soared right into the superhero multiverse, but not before premiering their most adorable guest to date, baby breakfast burrito herself, Eleanor Bates. Brian melted our hearts when he said, "Bye, honey," as the amazing Abigail carried her away. I'm going to pause here for fanfare because all of us folks know that Abigail deserves a hand. There you go. Good. Aaron, fondly known as Gout Man, able to limp over buildings, surprisingly found himself trying to escape Planet Fitness yet again when his old video went viral. Nate confessed that ghost hunting might not have been a great idea. Elvis might be alive, and he decided he might take a break from Instagram, sadly the same week that Folkland got an account. Dusty was back at the table, recalling childhood toy-induced nightmares. The Rock was everywhere. We had to choose if we were going to fly or be invisible. And did you guys know Michael Jackson was almost Spider-Man?
That blew me away. When he said that, I was like, gosh, as much as like I adore Michael Jackson and my family's a big fan, dude, just stay in your lane. That's sorry.
That would make a great Spider-Man.
Yeah?
Can't you just picture him flying through the air going, hee hee?
I can.
Like this? Ow!
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if they hit him, like if he got hit by a bad guy, he'd be, ow!
I'm back to you guys can't be funny because it hurts to laugh. So
sorry. Well, we're
please make
glad
this
to
boring.
see you back, Jen.
Thanks.
All right,
for having me
never.
back, guys.
Let's read some comments very, very boringly for Jen's sake. All right, so on our YouTube channel this week, we got some comments. How's that for you, Jen? Is that better?
Could you do it lower, please?
We had some comments. We got some from our founding father, Matt Organ. He was making some comments on our page, and he said that I sounded like a radio announcer.
Lower.
And I
don't
Yes,
know how
and?
to respond to that. He said, I can't live tweet the whole episode. Y'all are doing great. Thanks for giving the folks the answer they never knew they wanted to the question they never knew. That I'm an idiot.
Now, that's him. I didn't say that. Nah,
Right.
I wouldn't call you that myself. So please, everybody know that's what the air quotes were indicating.
Yes.
All right. That's fair.
Well, we have a comment from Rusty. He responded, I think, to one of, I think the latest episode. I can't remember, but thank you, Rusty. He says, I do miss you, Matt, or is it Matthew? I have been a fan of Nate since I first heard of him over a decade ago. I have heard every Nate podcast since he first did It Could Be Better. From Nateland to Folkland, it has been a joy. What makes me happy is seeing folks like you talking about Nate and his comedy. In the beginning, I used to tell everyone that Nate was the best comic out there that nobody knows. You all make a big difference. As for this episode, I was thinking that having Kerr Smith on was a great idea. However, there were so many squares on the screen at the same time that I thought I was watching the opening credits to The Brady Bunch. Did I make you laugh, Jen?
Yes.
He put in quotes.
Yes, you did, Rusty.
Here's the story of some folky ladies.
Who were all dressed poorly like superheroes.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then Eric T. Peterson left this nice review for us. Okay. Comedy and caricatures.
That came
Free
in hot.
Dusty.
Free Dusty.
You guys want to know something funny? When I started to watch this week's episode, I thought, oh, we can finally figure out where Aaron went. And Aaron was there the whole time. It was Dusty that was gone. But in my brain, I still erased Aaron.
Wow.
Poor Aaron.
All right, Eric doesn't like our theme music, and that's all I'm going to say. But he enjoyed the Hey Bear Rundown and hashtag Backoff Baits, as well as the differently qualified band slams. Eventually, we meet the very enjoyable Kerr Smith. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
After a quick get-to-know-you session, Canadian? And a few podcast memories, the ladies immediately give him an assignment and probably ignore him for much of the remaining time. We were... Oh. I don't read this part. You say it.
We were respecting the man while he was drawing, okay? We were giving him his space for creative freedom is all Eric T. Peterson. Please know it was out of respect.
I told you that. I told you that. Never mind. I'm like a Vanna White. You just put it in front of and you hand a piece of paper and I'm like, move left and stand in front of this. Oh. All right. Breakfast bites. Maybe not a foot guy. I guess that settles the debate on that. Jennifer was engaged. Story time. Puerto Ricans don't listen to the Oak Ridge Boys, evidently. Folkland loves. Folkland loves. I got distracted because there's a typo. It says Norhing. And then I misspoke the word before. Folkland loves nothing more than talking about Hitler. And I said that way too serious.
Yikes. Yes, be careful with your hand there, Jen.
Folkland loves.
Oh, no.
The internet. Sorry.
Whoa.
Jesus. We love Jesus.
Absolutely.
I already told some teenagers at a bonfire last night that we loved
That's
Hitler.
what it is.
So, yeah. We end with Kerr Smith creations across the socials and 0 ETP content despite 2 reviews in one day like a week ago. I don't even know what we're saying. For crying out, Eric's phone just ran out of ink.
Aw.
Oh.
Breakfastisms, birthday baits, and that's it, folks.
I like that.
That was very good. Very good, Eric.
Super.
We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much, Eric. You're always very thorough and appreciated, sir.
Yes.
The orator.
Yes. Now, this episode was
So-
a lot.
Should we talk
It
about why we're
was a
dressed
lot.
like this?
Yeah.
Should we talk about why we're dressed like this, Brandi?
I mean, I think the folks, I respect the folks enough to think that they can follow that this is the superheroes episode.
I just meant like,
Yeah.
well, maybe I should explain why I'm dressed like this because I'm Catwoman, and I think it's
There you
pretty
go.
obvious. But for the slower folks at home, these are cat ears. Okay. All right. Now that we all are in agreement,
Yeah.
or maybe I'm
All
Bird
right.
Woman. I don't know.
Ooh, a new one. Crow Woman.
Well, I felt that Wonder Woman did not get her due diligence on the Nateland podcast, so I needed to make sure Anna
You know, there
Were there
a-
any women mentioned at all?
I mean, they talked
No.
about some strange ones.
So I have a list. We don't have to talk about them all, but I just jotted down a couple: Batgirl, Supergirl, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Wonder Woman, Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, Storm.
But those aren't all heroes, mostly, or villains.
No, but I
Wonder
know.
Woman's like the only hero.
That's
Captain
true.
Marvel?
That's
Did you
true.
say Captain
Oh.
Marvel?
Isn't Captain Marvel
No,
and
she's
Wonder
not my
Woman
favorite,
basically the
so.
same?
Marvel versus DC, dear.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
But
that
I think
just
the-
shows you what I know about this topic.
No, but I think they're supposed to have like similar powers, right? They're just different franchises, I think. This is
Okay,
when we finally get into
We're
our
gonna have to-
expertise, guys.
Now we're going to have to stop. Already, we're in too deep.
We're in too deep. We're in too deep.
Marvel versus DC. That's what that comes down to.
Yeah. Well, all right. How about
Like Dusty kind of mentioned on that topic, it just got way too complicated and I gave up.
Yeah. That's all right.
yeah, I agree with
like
him when he
a-
talks about the different time traveling thing. It makes it too complicated.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a new movie every month. It's like, I can't keep up with this. Ant-Man really ruined it for me. I would say, like,
They didn't even say him.
they didn't what?
They, didn't say
mention
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
I don't think
yeah.
so.
They probably don't know who that is.
Probably not.
I don't really. I know it was Paul
The
Rudd.
Paul
right?
Rudd.
I love Paul Rudd.
They should know who he is. Oh well,
Yeah.
we have a lot of excitement about
They
this
didn't talk
topic
about-
right now.
They didn't talk about Ant-Man or I don't think like Aquaman or the Flash was mentioned, but there was a lot
Oh,
of talk
yeah.
about if we were to send someone to space to represent the American race.
I just
Like,
feel like I'm
human.
over this topic already.
They talked
I
about it
don't
so
know if
long.
that's-
They talked
No,
about it
that's-
so long. It went.
It's like
it went
the
really
Nate
long.
in me, where I'm like, ugh, everybody wants to talk about this. I don't want to talk about it. It's stupid. Now let me tell you why I don't want to talk about it for 20 minutes. Rant Man. I'm Rant Man.
Well, I had a little idea, ladies. I thought it would be fun instead of further throwing a bunch of these names into the ring, because see on the Facebook group there were a lot of folks who had opinions and threw in some names too. So I thought for fun, instead of adding more names, we could take some of the names that were suggested and we could say, what would the aliens say about them? How would they respond? So let's throw one out there. The one they talked about first, The Rock.
The Rock.
What do you think would be their reaction?
I feel like they would be like, I listened to 30 podcasts of Nateland where they talked about The Rock, and I don't want to talk about this guy. I don't want to even meet
No,
him.
they're like, oh, him
They're like, all we
again.
get out here in space is Nateland reruns 24/7.
yeah.
That's all that's coming. No Netflix.
Is The Rock? That's all we got. We got. Is that who we got?
That's all we got.
That's
Do
all
you think
we
they
got?
might be like, this isn't even a guy they sent an avatar from that Jumanji movie?
I think they'd be like, can we get your autograph? Or is that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they would
Okay,
eat him.
what about, let's do another one. Tom Cruise.
I
Oh
loved
my
their
gosh.
response. That
I
they
did
were like,
too.
he's already talking to him.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
He's
that
already-
dude is out there.
One of the
I
aliens are going to be like,
Agree.
Daddy!
Daddy! Daddy! Papa! Papa, it's you!
Papa Cruz.
Papa's here, everybody! Yeah, because he probably has alien babies. That I would believe. My boy up there.
Believe it.
Yeah.
Like, he could be really passionate about that.
Maybe
That's Tom
why.
Cruise. Tom Cruise is the one that says, "That's my boy up there."
That's
Tom
why
Cruise.
he and Katie Holmes got divorced, because he had a space love child And
My
she
boy.
said,
Ooh,
"No more. I can't do this anymore."
I can't do this anymore. You're going too. You're gone too long to see him. Yeah.
And then do you remember when the guy? Do you remember when the guy said that the red hair came from the alien woman's armpit?
That
It
was
was
so
a pretty
funny.
good sewed. Yeah.
I
It was
still want
awesome.
that T-shirt that the person made. Did you guys see all those T-shirts?
I don't
no,
think so.
I missed that one.
Ah, we'll have to
That
pull
must
that
have been
up.
hilarious.
Resurrect it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only woman mentioned was
Meryl
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep, which I thought was funny. The guys were like,
Why? They
I
said,
think
well,
that aliens would respect her a lot.
I thought so too. I thought they might be afraid of us thinking she was too smart.
But I just picture her from The Devil Wears Prada. Like that's
Yeah.
how she's going into space.
Very
like,
intimidating.
like,
oh, she's
are you
going
really
to be the
wearing those
leader.
shoes?
They're going to make her
Yeah.
the leader. She's going to go
Yeah.
in there and they're going to be like, we bow down to you. You're in charge now. Tell us what to do.
She's
Yeah,
gonna be
I'm-
like, answer the phone, alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need it now.
Where's my lunch?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Brian said he mentioned her name because she's played every role. So I thought maybe the aliens might be like, they're shapeshifters. Now the folks had some suggestions too. They liked Kevin Costner.
Oh. I don't
No?
think so.
Okay, no, okay.
No.
They liked George Clooney. Pass the salt and pepper.
See, I liked
Maybe.
my own little list, and I thought that Danny DeVito is who we should send into space because he looks like an alien and would fit in.
I think he would keep
know?
it real. He'd be like, listen, I know why you're here. You know why I'm here. So let's cut the junk and let's get right to it. That's how I think
Yeah.
he would be.
Like he was in Matilda. The fibers are fused to the head. Nobody.
That went, yeah.
I don't remember. That's a long time ago. Brandy, didn't you say something about or who mentioned Tom Hanks? And
Oh,
then
the
Aaron and
guys did.
Dusty were like a hard no, and Aaron and
When
Dusty
I'm
were like no.
when I'm driving down the
that
road,
actually surprised me.
listening, yeah, I'm listening to this episode, and that is the first name that popped in my head. Tom Hanks. He's kind of America's guy. He kind of can look like
Yeah.
the guy
Sweetheart.
next door, play any role.
Yeah.
Finally, he was mentioned by Nate, and very quickly tossed off the table by two members of the table. I was shocked.
Mhm.
Because I have a very strong opinion that Tom Hanks is the most versatile actor of our time. And I liken him to being the potato of the acting world because he's quite versatile, like a potato is versatile in the vegetable world. And so I think
agree.
if you like potatoes, you like Tom Hanks in one way or another.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to say
Okay.
that
Form of potato that you like if you don't really like potatoes. There's probably a Hankster movie that you like or a role in one way or another.
I think that Tom Hanks is just prime rib, and anything that he's on is better because of it, and that Aaron
Oh.
should shut his mouth because Tom Hanks is the greatest man has ever lived. But I really do think he's a really good actor.
Yeah.
I think that was
Michael.
Catwoman coming out.
I was very surprised by Dusty. Wow. You know?
I know.
I was too. Yeah.
I think Dusty just doesn't like anything that's mainstream.
I feel like he just agreed with Aaron. I feel like it's all Aaron's fault, you know?
Oh, wow.
But it's
Oh my
fine.
gosh.
It's fine.
So, how hilarious was it that they started talking about the guy with the bees, red bee, what was his name?
Oh, yeah.
And his bee
Bee-man.
named
I don't know.
Michael. He had a
Michael?
bee named
Michael.
Michael.
All I could think of was Michael Scott. Like the bee would be like Michael Scott.
Just his
So
head
Michael
on a little
Scott.
body.
over here.
You've seen the
Prison-
bee movie, right? It'd be like that.
Prison Mike's head on a bee body.
Wait. Hold that thought.
Oh no. How does she have something for this right now? No, you don't.
Michael.
That's the
It
best
was like
pillow.
Go take care of that.
That's the best pillow ever.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
What's funny is my pastor's kids come over and play with it, and I usually have it on this side where it's all gold and you can't see it. And they started to play with it and they're like, is that your boyfriend? Why do you have his face on a pillow?
He wishes.
This is not
No.
my boyfriend.
He's too much of a bad guy.
Flying or invisible, what do you think, ladies?
Well,
I'm afraid of heights, but I kind of feel like that's the way to go because I like birds. And it's like, why wouldn't you try and be like a bird? I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I could fly, I wouldn't be scared. Yeah.
You can't be a cat and a bird, Jen.
Ooh. Yikes.
I'm a woman. I can do whatever I want.
WOMAN.
I think that I would like to do both things. I would like to fly because I think I was born to fly and like you just gotta let me fly, you know?
Let her go.
But I wouldn't mind being invisible sometimes, like earlier when I went to the gas station.
Right.
That would have been a good time to be invisible. So, but nobody knows what I'm talking about because I didn't talk about that. So,
I know. I feel like if we could choose those moments where we could be either or. But I thought Dusty was hilarious when he said, arrest everybody who wants to be invisible because they're up to no good or something like that. I thought that was pretty funny.
When I was a kid, I always wanted to be invisible so I could sneak and do things. Like I could go get as many Little Debbie cakes out of the pantry as I wanted without having to put them in my pants to hide it from my mom. And then whenever I walked, it was like, and I got caught anyway. I could just hold it.
It would still make the noise if you're invisible. Your mom would
No, I would just hold it. She'd just see the cake flying through the air.
You know, ladies, there's a loophole with Wonder Woman. She flies in an invisible jet.
Oh.
Doesn't she also have a lasso?
Yeah, of truth. The lasso of truth.
I want the lasso of truth. Lie to me again. I think
Yeah, that's right.
Watch yourself.
And I think as women, like we don't really need to have mind reading as an option because like we already have that, you know.
We
have our
always wish
moments.
men have it. I thought that was really, really funny when they were talking about it. They kind of like skipped over it. They didn't talk about it as much as I thought they would have. I was totally expecting Nate to go into a whole like mind reading like rant or conspiracy or something, and he didn't. And I was like, okay, I get it. He can't jump on every train.
Surprises you what he rants about and then doesn't rant about. I don't really remember a lot of rants, but I was hoping he would get off on one when Aaron started using the word pejorative.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, Aaron, come on.
Or how about when we were talking about Matthew McConaughey for way too long?
Yeah,
It was too long. Listen. I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack. Not a fan. I think he probably is a very nice guy in real life. I don't think he's like this big heartthrob that all the ladies like see. He kind of like gives me like this like uncle vibe that you're kind of like, yeah, okay, leave me alone.
Creepy uncle.
Not creepy uncle, more like an
Creepy
uncle that's
Uncle
always
Matthew, get away.
Oh, Uncle Matthew's here at Thanksgiving this year. Didn't know he was coming.
Who invited him?
I'm like, he's always trying to like be like smart. I get it. Like he went to college.
Oh, so it's Aaron now is Matthew McConaughey.
He's at Thanksgiving. We're never going to eat because he's going to pray forever.
Yes. Yeah.
How about we try to pray in Matthew McConaughey's voice?
Okay.
What is his voice like? It's very annoying. It's like
Aaron did pretty good.
All right.
Amen, amen, amen.
He
did do good. He did do good.
Aaron did a pretty good voice.
Impression.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I thought was funny? Like, they didn't talk about who their favorite superhero was. I don't think. I don't recall.
They did say, who do you think of as the most famous one? But yeah, they didn't say
Like, who's
Yeah,
your
they didn't talk
favorite?
about like their favorite one.
Yeah.
Well, mine's Batman. I just gotta say it. I love a good, strong, wounded with issues kind of type, you know.
Yeah, a good strong.
I think he's really
billionaire
cool
orphan.
though, because Yeah, billionaire orphan.
It's my type.
I think he's also pretty genius, though. He's the most
Yeah.
innovative because he doesn't have superpowers. He kind of
That's
created
it.
his own powers.
He's a tortured genius. That's my type. There you go.
Yeah.
I like Spider-Man. I don't know why.
Wonder.
I just think he's super cool, and I don't know.
Which
I just
Spider-Man
think,
you like better? Tobey Maguire?
yeah.
The other ones?
New one. The new one.
No,
100%.
I've only seen the Tobey Maguire one. In
Oh,
full
what's
confession.
that guy's name?
How are you going to say he's your favorite and you've only seen one set of the movies?
Because I know the actual cartoon and
Like you
and
read the comic?
comics.
I can't think of it.
I grew up with a lot of guy cousins, and I was the oldest of the girl cousins, and then I had 3 older guy cousins, so I was like their little sister. So I learned a lot from them. And then now I have boys all up in my house taking over. I got all this stuff from my son's room. Obviously, I don't own this stuff.
Tom Holland.
He's a big Jimmy Carter fan, huh?
You would be really surprised. Yeah, it's actually a problem.
I gotta say, it's very hot in this all velvet dress. Like, if
The
this is
thing
what
that
Catwoman is doing,
villains do for
She's doing the
fashion.
most.
Yeah.
yeah.
Tom
Oy,
Holland's
oy.
Spider-Man,
So, how
I think,
funny-
is the best ever. And Stan Lee, I believe, said that before passing away, that it was his favorite, the best portrayal of his character
Wow.
that he had seen.
I think
Those
he's
were
a
his
good
last
actor.
words.
I like
Okay, so I
Spider-Man
did see
too,
him
Yeah.
in one of the Avengers movies. I saw him as that, and I thought he was really good. So I will see.
Yeah.
I will say I have seen him as Spider-Man, just not in his
Yeah.
actual Spider-Man movie.
I think those are really good ones. You should check those out. I also in the Marvel universe, I picked Spider-Man. In the DC universe, I love Wonder Woman, and I would have to say Superman. Going back to being a little kid too, but I had Wonder Woman.
Do you like the Superman with the mullet?
No, that does not sound attractive. I picture him with that curl in the front.
The party
But
in
I
the
had
back.
Wonder
Party in the
Woman.
back.
That little.
Wonder Woman underoos. Do you guys remember underoos?
Brandi, I thought we discussed not talking about our underwear on camera.
Well, little Brandy would run through the house, and then I would jump on the couch, and I would jump off of the couch like I was flying. I would go through the house as Wonder Woman. But my mama,
Nice.
my mom was a beautiful woman, and I fondly remember being a little girl and thinking she looked so much like Wonder Woman. Looking at her being like,
That's
"She's
cute.
so pretty like Wonder Woman.
Moms are Wonder
Curly
Women.
hair." Yeah.
That's very true. I remember, even though, sorry, I was gonna say, even though my mom was crazy, but you know, she was like a singer and always dolled up from that. And I remember thinking similar, like you want to wear their clothes and put their makeup on, and just cute.
I will say when
That's
Aaron
sweet.
mentioned when he mentioned Smallville, I remember that being big as a kid. That show was big. But honestly, I remember when Dean Cain was Superman. And I always thought he was handsome. I thought he did a great job. Every time I see him, I think of Superman because I grew up in
Yeah,
the
for
80s,
sure.
90s. So,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
I,
I think
I,
Adam West as the best worst Batman.
You think he's
slash
worse?
superhero.
Like, don't you love
Well,
that
because it's
vintage
like-
feel?
Yeah, but then also like it was like terrible at the same because it was like so cheesy, and then the things he did and said, it was like, what is happening?
Listen, I don't have any memory of any of the shows, but I respect them being like, take this spandex, put it on. We don't care if you have abs or not. Just do it. That's not how we treat our actors today.
that is
They got to
true.
go on a 6-month fast.
We gotta bring that back. You
Yeah.
know, we need
Yeah.
to see more real people in spandex. I'm willing to go first.
We may need to recant that. I might want to back up a little. I'm just saying. I do love the vintage feel.
Hold on,
Yeah.
and another thing. Let's just double back to and double down on Spider-Man here. Aaron Weber says Spider-Man is sassy and arrogant.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Spider-Man, Aaron. Not Aaron.
I'm like chuckling.
I mean, I guess he would know. I know. That, you know.
It's funny. It's
It
funny
did make me-
that the youngest of the podcast would literally like crap on the youngest of the superheroes.
And then they talked about him being 40, worrying about asking his high school crush on a date.
Yeah.
That was funny. That was really
I was like,
funny.
what has happened here?
Now,
Yeah.
you know, somebody else who's a kid superhero that just came to mind when you said that they didn't talk about was Shazam. Have you guys seen that one? That's kind of fun. My boy enjoyed that show, so I watched it with him. And it's about kids who,
Yes,
a kid
I've heard
himself
of
is
it.
like a teenager, and he puts on somehow, I can't remember the exact story, but he becomes Shazam, and whenever he's in the costume, he's an adult.
Yeah,
but then
that was a
whenever he's
big
out of the
movie.
costume, he's a kid again.
I never
I wish I
watched it,
could
but I always
take
wanted to.
Off and on being an adult.
And that is, what's his name? Zachary Levi, who is kind of
Yes.
charming, Flynn Rider.
Yes.
I love him.
Yeah,
I
he's
love him.
awesome.
And totally was
He's
engaged to Betty White at one time. Love the guy. Yeah.
I'm sorry, wait, what? That's
Yeah,
over
he
now,
got-
though, right? You think he's single? Is that-
Well, he's probably still in mourning. As we
Best
all
ones
are.
Wow.
always are,
Oh.
you know?
Yeah. What about Dusty saying?
I loved...
Sorry.
No,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jen.
I was just gonna say I love when Brian brought up about insurance and how like he just brings out of like this is fun superheroes, we're talking about superpowers too. Man, I mean, in those universes they've gotta have really good insurance, right guys? It's like okay, Jake from State Farm. That was the most Bates thing to bring up.
I know he has to bring it back. Bring it back.
Boring Bates.
Which, by the way, some folks called Eleanor baby breakfast, of course, but they also called her biscuit and tater tot, and I thought that was so cute.
Super
I
cute.
thought those are cute little
Breakfast
nicknames.
bites. 'Cause she's
Breakfast
little
bites. Yeah.
Speaking of which, we have some breakfast bites this week. Do you guys want to talk about those?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. So a couple of the folks called him this week Bubblegum, Beef Master. Don't, you're gonna spit. Bruce Banner Bates. Bruce Banner Bates, and my favorite, Blunderbuss.
I think your superpower is telling the future, JC, because that was hilarious.
And then he had a really good one-liner when he said, "Bozo came to Lebanon."
Yes,
man.
I
And
love
then he
that
got
part.
into the story, but it's like he just jumped in there oblivious that like what he was doing. It was so funny.
It was a
I can't
very
believe
cute
no one
story.
said Bozo Bates.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
What was a
Bozo
cute
Bates.
story,
I'm
Brandi?
sure somebody said that.
I also thought his story about the misunderstanding on the golf course, I felt that so deeply. This could happen to me. Not that I'm golfing with celebrities too often, but oh my goodness, I have had those moments when you are having a conversation with somebody in mid-conversation, you're like, this is not who I think it is.
Oh,
But-
yeah, the Larry the Cable Guy thing. I was like, how do you...
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he says he was good friends with the guy. And I'm like,
That's what I
I
was
don't...
gonna say.
How do you confuse someone you're good friends with a celebrity? Like, I just
He said,
don't
"I've
know
worked
it."
with him many times. I've worked with him many times. I didn't recognize him in sunglasses and a hat on."
Yeah.
Either they're like not as good of friends as he let on,
Yeah.
or he needs, I don't know, better
In the-
medical care.
Everybody is
Yeah.
breakfast's friend.
In the spirit of superhero, we'll say that he was in his wearing his secret identity at the time instead of his
Okay.
crazy comedian of yesteryear clothes. So there you go.
I'll buy it.
Right.
Um,
He is T. Judd.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
There was,
sorry, I was just gonna say when Nate finally does speak up, it has nothing to do with anything, and he starts talking about Elvis still being alive, and I think I'm trying to figure out how he got there, and I wasn't sure. Is that when Brian said something about like, "Oh, I have a conspiracy for you, Dusty," and he said the thing about the license plate? Was that how Nate's mind got to the Elvis conspiracy? I think that's how his mind worked there. But it was really funny that after Brian presented the new conspiracy about the license plate, Dusty was like, "That's not even a conspiracy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
exactly what's
blatantly
happening.
obvious.
Facts. Yeah, it's obvious.
It's
Yeah,
written. They're telling you. Choose God or not. We're gonna know.
we're gonna know. Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. How hot is your piss made a reappearance, and then I remembered.
my
I was
God.
like, wait, I don't think that's how that saying goes. Like, I rewatched it over and over. I was like, something doesn't feel right about that. And I remember it was how hot is your urine was the original thing. And
Oh,
why
yes.
did Brian elect to put the P word in there?
It was
Potty
definitely
mouth
on
Bates.
Yeah.
potty mouth Bates, bathroom Bates.
Bleep him, Bates. Yeah, bathroom Bates. There you go.
Bleeping Bates. We got a million of these folks.
Wait. Speaking of bathrooms, was this the one? This episode was the comment, right? With the 4 feet
Yeah.
under the stall,
Yeah.
Yeah.
stalls, and how
Yeah, they were
how
definitely
Nate.
pooping.
That's what I thought. And they said no, absolutely not. They're standing.
Everybody
and I was like,
poops, Nate. Everybody.
I thought that's kind of the joke that Nick was saying in his comment, that they were sitting down.
So, what would your superpowers be? Did we didn't talk about this, did we?
I don't think so.
We just had
We just flirted
just-
around with.
we said the flying or invisible. That's how we said.
How about we tell each other what our superpowers would be? Brandi,
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
your superpower would be. I think it'd just be making people laugh. I hope that's not like a lame superpower, but I feel like you could do it anytime, anywhere. The
Ooh,
charisma, like they talked about.
Brandi is like the human like truth serum. She's so sweet and kind, and she can get you to confess anything.
Oh, goodness.
She kind of
I know I
reminds me of that
possess
character
these
from
powers,
Inside Out.
ladies. It's good to know. I can use
Yeah,
them
I
all
think
for
that's
evil
Jacy.
now.
Oh, I like it.
Probably not, though.
Jacy's
No.
superpower would be you'd have the word superpower that they talked about. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah,
No.
it's probably because Aaron was talking about it.
Your
You
voice
say
was
it's-
cutting out a minute.
Yeah.
I said you'd have a superpower. Words. I know it's not that exciting, but you know,
Okay.
putting words together. Is that a superpower?
Yeah, you are super at that.
A wordsmith. You know, you just,
Loud lady. No, I'm
Maybe
just
you just like
Have
write
you ever
words
seen
and
the
then it happens.
the PBS superhero Word Girl?
kidding. Yes. I'm
There
word
you
girl.
go, Word
Okay.
Girl.
Okay.
I like
Word
Word
Girl.
Girl. Much respect for her.
It's better than
I-
Worm Girl.
Yeah, Word Girl. All right, Jen. What do you think,
Jen.
Jacy? What do we have for her?
I think Jen could be the master of disguise. She has all the costumes. She does really cool voices. She could blend in anywhere, kind of get in
Oh,
and
yeah.
get out without people noticing her. She could go to a party and people think, oh, she's always been here. And then she can leave. And
I
Oh,
love that.
yes. I'm on board with
I
this.
thought that was really cool.
I like it.
Mhm.
Sounds good, Governor.
I believe so.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I also thought it was very fitting that Aaron, when he talked about his superpower, said that he said, no, in my world, I'm the only one in the world who's got a superpower. You didn't hear that part?
oh,
I was
you
like,
know,
of
it's
course.
so
Take
funny
away
because
from that. If everybody
Yeah.
else had that superpower too.
What do you want, a trophy?
sometimes I don't, I know, sometimes I don't catch what he says sometimes. I don't know why.
I
Maybe
get
because there's
his
4
way
of them
thinking
now.
on that. Well, I was thinking, it made me think of on Bruce Almighty when Bruce became, played the role of God and he granted everyone's prayers as yes. And then everybody won the lottery, so nobody really won the lottery.
Yeah.
That's what it made me think of.
Makes
Those
sense.
are funny.
It
when you
does
think about
kind
it,
of cheapen it a bit if everybody has that.
That's true. We don't want it to be cheap, folks.
I know.
Well,
Well,
What a supersized
right.
episode it was.
yeah, absolutely.
super.
Are we ready to put a button on this, maybe?
Let's button
Button it
this
up,
baby up.
baby.
All right. Well, thank you, folks, for watching Folkland. I ask you to please subscribe to us on YouTube so you don't miss any future podcast episodes. Also, give us a follow on Instagram. We have
We
a
did that.
new page.
We got it.
At Folkland_podcast. Comment below on this video your favorite takeaway of the Nateland episode and also this episode. And we will see you next time, folk ladies.
Yeah. Goodbye,
Later,
folks.
folks. Ooh, I'm flying out of here now.